Hello golfers, Bryan Pate here. I want to talk about the concept of straight back, straight through. I got my big putter here in my hands. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this pool noodle to the face of the putter to give us a representation of where the putter head's pointing. If I set up to this golf ball, a lot of people think about the putter head needs to go straight back along this alignment rod in the backswing and straight through on the through swing. What that starts to do with my putter face, if I'm trying to do that, is how do I keep the putter face pointing at the target? So you can see from down the line view, the purple pool noodle is still pointing exactly the same with the alignment rod, and on the way through, we're going to try to match that on the way through. So the only issue with this concept is if I made a stroke parallel to the ground out in front of me, you can see that the pool noodle moves parallel to the ground. Now if I hinge over and make that same little motion trying to keep the face parallel to the ground, and I paused in my backswing and I stood up, what you'll notice is the loft is actually pointing downwards. So in the through swing, we're going to have to do something to try to open that back up to match the way through. So you can see how much manipulation it's taking trying to keep the face going straight back, straight through, or trying to keep the loft pointing straight at the target and straight at the target. Do I have to manipulate my forearms a bunch in the backswing? Do I have to move my elbow and separate it? Do I have to try to translate the handle far in the backswing and far in the through swing? So if we're up in front of us, making a little putting stroke back and through, yes, the putter face does look like it's not opening and closing. Now if I hinge over and I made that same little motion, you can see that from down the line view, the loft is actually pointing out to the right. And on the way through, the loft is actually pointing to the left. If I do that one more time, there's my backswing. If I stood up, now you can see the putter face is in the same spot as just making the motion parallel to the ground. So that's a good little check when you're hitting putts here. Let me put a golf ball in play. Let's aim it out there to the right of the pin. But if I was making a backstroke, I took it back and paused, and I raised up, now you can see the toe is more up and down. If I hinge over, now that face is slightly open to my eyes relative to the target line. On the through swing, if I hold the finish and I raise back up, now that putter's 90 degrees to the ground, but it's going to look just like we did making our rehearsal swing with the shaft moving parallel to the ground. So from down the line view, a lot of people might feel like something's moving straight back, straight through. It might be they're feeling the shaft in plane moving kind of straight back, straight through, but the face is moving on that arc. So hopefully this little concept here helps understand how the putter head moves in space when you're hitting a putt. The putter head and the loft is not trying to go straight back and straight through to the target, but we're letting this putter swing around us. We're the middle of a circle, and that putter is on the outside of the circle. I don't want to try to manipulate the circle one way or another. Now if I was on the opposite side of the spectrum and this putter is opening too much and closing too much, then I can hold it up and say, oh, there's my putter face pointing more up to the sky. It might feel like the putter is a little bit more looking at the target in order for it to become neutral. If you're someone that's trying to keep everything pointing at the target, the face is getting a little too de-lofted, it might have to feel like the toe is opening slightly in the backswing to get back to the neutral. If we take that face pointed at the target, keep the loft pointing at the target, and I didn't have the back out with my body, with my elbows or something, that ball's going to want to launch to the left. So use this little concept where the loft is pointing, how it's moving in space, flat relative to the ground. We want that same relationship as we hinge over and making the same motion around us. The only difference is we've tipped the angle down to the ground. So again, Bryan Pate here, talking about straight back, straight through, what the body has to do in order to manage a club face or a loft, going straight back, pointing at the target, and then returning and trying to go straight to the target or keep the loft pointing at the target.